What up, Lena? And guess what? We are those motherfuckers!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Frolfcenter, presented by Frolfer Magazine. I'm Austin Lytle. I'm joined with Adam as always. What's up?
What's up, man? Oh, not too much. What are you drinking tonight?
Living the dream, drinking that G13. I don't know why I've never said that before. That is so good.
Yeah, I'm drinking water because I'm playing 2 rounds of golf tomorrow, and it's going to be 107 degrees real feel. So.
Yeah, I've been out and about in it. I've been working it. I played doubles in it yesterday.
Well, that's right. You ran doubles, didn't you?
Yeah, it sucks, man. It's hot.
Yeah.
It is hot. We are in June 14th, and we are in the middle of summer here in Georgia.
Yeah.
Where they tell you it's going to be mid-90s, but the heat index is 105.
Yeah, 107 tomorrow, hottest day of the year. I'm going to be rounding hole number, 31 when it's the hottest time of the day. So it's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited about it.
Drink water, find the shade, throw to the shade is my only advice to you, brother.
That's the M40 man right there. That's the move.
It's not an M40. It's not an M40 man. That's a man that plays in Georgia.
It's a man that plays in Georgia. All right, we got a little bit of national news. Greg Barsby comes out of nowhere and bags one up in Minnesota, wearing a hockey jersey, no less.
Dude, I saw a post from Kale that said the best putting performance that disc golf has ever seen.
That's impressive. That's
coming from Kale LaVisca.
Yeah.
I want to see this video.
Yeah.
How many putts he's actually made.
Yeah, I love Greg Barsby, so that's rad too. Raven Klein won FPO over there. Everyone was kind of all over the place because of the Silver Series and everything this year.
Right, and everybody took away, and like the Beaver State Fling was. I mean, I watched it on Sunday, and it came down to the wire.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe not necessarily with Valerie Mantuhano.
Yeah, it's 2 in a row for her.
It should be really 2 in a row for Double G as well, but I mean, they both.
Yeah,
they both played are on a hot streak at the moment, and I mean, I hope it just continues on to the next. I mean, Worlds is right around the corner, so
yeah. Corver's hashed again, so Corver's getting hot. Kat Mertz was top 20 again, so she's still playing hot.
Yeah, we're on the time where we need to start like watching for who's getting hot right now because Worlds is coming around the corner, and these guys are going to be making the splashes at Worlds. Garrett Gerthy, Simon Lizotte, and where's Macbeth?
14th with Alden Harris.
Where's Eagle? Where's Ricky? I mean, Ricky's hurt, but
yeah. One more piece of national news. Our guest is already waiting in the green room, so we're going to try to get through the news as quick as we can. Am Champs had a bit of the U.S. Amateur Disc Golf Championship, not World.
World. Those comments lit up, didn't they?
Yeah. So that was the putt that
pushed the playoff.
No, that was the one that won it. The push the playoff also was one of those. They were both almost identical foot faults.
Right.
Nobody called them.
I mean, is it a football? Is his heel on the ground?
I mean, I can't.
There's so many people and caddies around. Who doesn't call that foot fault?
I don't know. I mean, Elaine King didn't call it in, so I have no idea. I have no idea. She wasn't in charge of that.
We're just in a weird spot, like where it's a disc golf family that we all like still play, but we want the sport to be legitimized, and we don't want to call fouls on each other.
And when it's going to start costing somebody $1,000, it's going to get really ugly.
When it start costing people tens of thousands of dollars,
it's going to be really ugly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's a controversial call. Congrats on the win. I don't even want to try to say your name.
Ilkin Grow. I think it's Ilkin Grow. So, congrats to Ilkin Grow.
Shame on the people on the card for not calling the foot fault. Or at least like letting the dude know, like, hey, that you're very close to a foot fault. I'm giving you a warning.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can't even give warnings anymore. But like, pull them off to the side and be like, yo, That's close. If it's that close again, I'm calling a foot fault and seeing if somebody else calls it with me.
Well, especially, dude, that was one of them forced the playoff, and then it was a 7-hole playoff.
Right.
Like, that's a lot of golf in between two big old foot faults. Yeah.
Anyways.
I don't know. Anyway, Hotland is still open. Hotland is still live. If you're not already following the Hotlanta 22 Facebook page, you should. Courtney's posting a ton of updates. They've got a huge players pack, first of all, but second of all, she's doing all sorts of side games. So even if you're not playing in the tournament, you can go out there and do a putting contest, accuracy contest. A bunch of vendors. We'll be out there selling stuff on Sunday, yada yada yada. So
yeah, I'll be out there. I'll be out there on the 8 pool as well, helping out with the volunteer side. So. Be a good
nice.
time.
Yeah, she's looking for volunteers. So if you see anything, I'm just ripping through this, Austin. Perk Day, Work Day, Saturday, 9 to 1. Bring gloves, bring tools if you got them. If you don't, just show up with a good attitude. The El Presidente is going to be out there grilling brats for everybody. He says here not to tell them about the beers, but there will be beers. So there's that too.
El Presidente drinks the beers, huh?
No, he didn't drink the beers. He brings them out though.
Okay. Well, at the Cat Memorial, the hardscaping's underway. The sleeves are going into the ground. Frolfcenter Fridays might be coming later this summer.
Yeah, I think so. And then, of course, tomorrow we have an actual Wednesday tournament again. So I'll be out there. I'll be playing in the 107-degree heat. And that's a perfect segue to bring in our guest tonight, the TD of Wednesday Open number 3 and the owner of Trainhopper Disc Golf. It's Mr. Mark Sheldon.
Good evening, guys. How are y'all tonight?
Wonderful, sir. How are you?
I am.
Get you on the big screen here. All right.
What's going on, Mark?
Yeah, I'm not driving. Sitting on waiting on girls in dance currently.
Oh,
nice.
Half of my life is sitting in this public shopping center planning what I'm going to do next.
Ah,
nice.
It's a mobile office. A lot of people pay a lot for that.
Yes, essentially. With an iPhone in hand, I can do almost anything.
How long do you got before you think dance is done?
I've got at least an hour. So.
Oh, okay, cool. Then we're good then. Then we want to give you the full. We got to give you the full interview treatment because we had you on the show. You crashed the full blast show. And we asked you some questions, but now we're going to see if they crash your show or whatever happens. But this is your show tonight, so.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, man.
Dude, Mark, when was your first round of disc golf? What?
My first, I think, it's going to be a little foggy, but around 1996. I would have been a sophomore or junior in high school, and my buddies and I got pretty into disc golf. We played predominantly at Lenora Park at the time. I was a Brookwood High School alumni. So we didn't know what we were doing. There was no internet. We weren't that athletic. Nothing's really changed for me. But we went out. We had a great time. We played at least 3 or 4 times a week at Lenora. Hit a lot of the other courses. It's a little foggy. I know we played Redan. I'm pretty sure we played Cloudland Canyon on like a trip. Sequoia and Wills. Anything beyond that.
That was about that. All there was in 96.
Would have been those, right?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we played all those, and I think at least once I played on the beach. I continued to play through high school around 98, and then for about, 25 years, I played maybe 1 round a year. Kind of got into a lot of other things. And about 3 years ago, predominantly Nathan Skinner and the group of people that I were hanging around got kind of back into disc golf and started a Sunday afternoon league. So I got into that, played Sequoia. And as you know, the rest is kind of history. I don't like to do things half. It's either all or nothing for me.
Nice. When was the most recent time you played?
I played Saturday. I played in the Lord of the Flings.
Oh, how'd that go?
Nice.
It went well. I feel like I had 2 throws that I'd want back, a couple putts, but one of the better rounds I've played in a while. I think I got about 40 points over my average for the tournament. So took 5th place in my lowly division of MA3.
Nice, brother.
That's not lowly. Rec Mafia, baby. Rec Mafia.
Yeah, I'm trying. My main goal is to be playing MA40 next year. So
it's a fun time up here. Yeah.
What's your biggest accomplishment as a player?
don't know. I did hit my first ace like 3 weeks ago. That was pretty cool.
We're at what course? What hole?
I was at the Highlands in Nashville.
Highlands in Nashville. Of course, you'll most likely be back to, but you hit your first ace in a different state.
I did, and unfortunately, it was a solo round. And
of course, it was
the absolute worst feeling, but the joy I felt as that disc went in. I don't care if another person ever believes me, because there was enough joy in my heart in that moment as I began to take off my clothes and run to get my disc.
Well, my first ace was a solo ace as well, but I've proceeded to have every ace other than that witnessed.
Well, that's good. So. I'm hoping to get a witness one. There's always been kind of a running joke with the group of people I play with. I don't know where it started, but I said if I get an ace, I'm going to take off all my clothes to run it in. So there was no one there, so I did it anyway, and I FaceTimed my group of friends.
Jordan Cass says, ask for the pick after the ace. Yeah,
he's seen it. It's pretty bad. There was a park ranger nearby the basket, so I did leave my underwear on, unfortunately.
Fair enough. I think that's probably best for everybody involved, honestly.
Probably. I don't need to catch charges in another state on a work trip. But no,
I was going to say, I don't think StreamYard works in penitentiary, so.
No. I played 11 courses in 4 days at one of my first trips to Nashville.
Heck yeah.
So it was good. Wasn't as hot here. I don't think I could do it here. I feel sorry for everybody tomorrow. I actually considered for about this long canceling tomorrow. So
really, just because it's going to be so hot, yeah.
It's stupid. I brought water. I'm bringing in extra coolers. I've bought 4 times as much water as I've ever bought for a tournament. So
yeah,
hopefully that'll be enough. Hopefully people will be smart, listen to their bodies.
Yeah, I'm bringing a ton with me. I mean, this is one of those things. It's not you're not wussy to take the umbrella out if you need to. You know what I mean?
Sure. And even in the players' email, I encouraged umbrellas. If people have the do rags with the moisture, I think that will help.
Yeah,
I was
for sure.
in Bergen today for several hours, and there was a ton of people out there. So it is doable. I think the morning round will be uncomfortable. The afternoon round will just be garbage.
Brutal. Yeah.
So, you said you just jumped back into it in the last couple of years. At what point did you decide that, we need to take disc golf to the next level and not just play it anymore?
Well,
start running tournaments and all that.
Yeah, it was kind of accidental. Kind of the backstory, as you guys may or may not know, I do a lot of the work at Sequoia Park. When I started playing there, I would consider that my home course. I noticed that they have probably more pin positions statistically than any course in the state, I think mathematically. And they would only change once, maybe twice a year. And so I started asking around, why did nobody ever change the pin positions? Because I like variety, so come to find out, the Snakes, I love those guys. They're kind of getting, tired of doing it after all these years. So I kind of wanted to, infiltrate that group in a way and find out how I could get involved. And for me, that started by, I found out that those guys still empty the trash every time at Sequoia. And I said, you guys are never going to empty the trash again. So I started, before I asked for the keys, before I told them, hey, you guys need to move the baskets, I said, what can I do? And so since that day, I've purchased personally all the trash bags and emptied every single trash can at Sequoia for like the last 2 years. So, and that's not a pat on my back. That's just to say that sometimes people don't want to be told what you're going to do for them. They want to see what you're going to do for them.
Yeah, and just so people who don't know about Sequoia Park, this is not a park where you drive around in your 4-wheel drive vehicle and go to every hole. Like, this is a hike. Like, you can't get there with a Zuka cart in a lot of places. So, good on you. Good on you.
Not Zuka-able, I would say. But anyway, so all that to say, the Cold Snake Classic kind of fell into my lap because Mr. Arnson was kind of looking for somebody to take the reins of that tournament. And I think he saw that, that kind of thing might be something I'd be interested in. And I worked with him a lot on the 20th anniversary 2020 Cold Snake Classic. And I feel like that was a pretty big success. We had a great time with it. And from there, I kind of took that and ran with it. Saw the need in the market that there was really not enough tournaments. I'm blessed with a pretty light work schedule. So I was like, hey, I enjoy running them honestly as much as playing in them. I'll start running some tournaments. So I had the Frozen Finger Flex, which was in January of 2021. had 150 something players out for that. And I was like, oh goodness, if somebody will come to this, that I'm not really even doing my best, effort to run a professional event, where can this go? And I ran one more. You may or may not remember disc golf scene breaking for the Silver Shamrock.
I do. That broke really bad. You were one of the first to have like was it late 2021?
Well, it's because I was before Ledgestone.
Oh, right.
On a different level, but I think I sold 150 admissions in 74 seconds. And at that point I was like, oh goodness, I might have to change something. So long story short, all that, I was like, I need to do something with this money. It can't just go through my wife's account and my account, ultimately her account. She was saying, whose money is this? Get it out of our account. So I started a LLC, basically both to somewhat protect myself, be able to get, a line of credit to be able to buy players packs before I even put a tournament on sale, stuff like that. That's a big deal. If you only run 1 or 2 tournaments a year and you got to front all that money, it's really scary. If I know, if God forbid I had to cancel tomorrow, I can sit on that merchandise until the next tournament and not lose it. So that's how Trainhopper Disc Golf LLC became a team.
Because you were a member of Team Bomb Squad previously, correct?
That is correct. And that the Team Trainhopper wasn't honestly meant to hurt feelings or be divisive or anything like that. Genuinely, I didn't even see it that way. And in hindsight, I probably should have. I honestly 100% thought I was going to still be on Bomb Squad and I was going to have this team for some other people. Some of the people, I did it applications because I know a lot of teams have always been who and I wanted to give everybody that genuinely wanted an outreach a chance. So I got 76 or so applications initially for that. It's funny, when I did all my announcement brochure or publicity blurbs or whatever I made for all the players, I didn't make one for myself because I genuinely wasn't on Team Trainhopper. Then obviously with the OTP storefront challenge coming about, I had to kind of shift that, and we kind of isolated teams a bit, kind of separated.
Right. And what's the name? What's with the name Trainhopper?
So I grew up around trains. My father was really big into trains. We actually at one point had a train you can ride in our backyard. Kind of imagine Silver Spoon style, if you know that sort. It's the track is 7 3/4 wide.
Mm-hmm.
The trains were a big part. My dad did HO, did garden railroading, all of that kind of stuff. So for me, trains were just part of life. And early on, I don't know, probably all the way back to Roller Coaster Tycoon or Diablo 1, I needed a name. And I don't know where Trainhopper came from, but it came. And so I've been a Trainhopper since elementary school.
Okay.
Personally. And at the end of the day, it was kind of my lawyer, who happens to be my brother-in-law, was like, hey, you just need a name. It doesn't have to mean anything. It has to be literally anything. It could be your mom LLC. But I was like, well, let's just do Trainhopper Disc Golf. I didn't have to put a lot of thought into it. And so if you look at the logo, what that is obviously a disc golf basket. And the behind that is a locomotive wheel. And the black spot that looks unintentional is actually the weight on a locomotive wheel that gives it that propulsion as it comes around. So that kind of just put that together, and I kind of ran with it. And so
I like that. So I want to know with the team. Well, before we get to the team, what all do you do as Trainhopper? Are you selling stuff? Are you retail? Are you tournaments only? What's the all-encompassing vision right now?
So the mission of Trainhopper Disc Golf, I think, is pretty simple. It's to provide premier events for the greater metro Atlanta area. And I use the word event a lot as opposed to tournaments because I want them to feel like more than just showing up, playing your round, and going home. If you've played any of my tournaments, I hope that's how you took it. I like to be both a lot of fun, yet also professional. I want you to know that I'm going to start on time. I'm going to give you the information you need. You're probably going to know exactly what bonus holes you're playing before the tournament even goes on sale, stuff like that. So the professionalism, but also I don't want to be stuffy. I want it to be fun. I want it to feel like an event where you go home and you're like, wow, that was a great time. It ran smooth, all that. We do a little bit of retail. I do have a website, trainhopperdiscgolf.com. 95% of what is on my website for sale is leftover player pack items. generally say I'm going to give away a hat as a player pack and I need 80, I'll order 100. Oftentimes that gets me to the bulk deal. And then I've got 20 hats to give away, give as prizes, whatever, or sell on my website. I don't, honestly, to be frank with you, I don't move a lot of volume on my website. It's fine. It's there. I've got some other information there. Obviously, as you guys probably know, I did some work on a course up at Reinhardt University. So that was built as Trainhopper Disc Golf, So that's not ultimately what I'm in it for. My main function will be to run events, run tournaments, dabble in this, dabble in that.
Very nice, very nice. Do you think Trainhopper's got a vibe? Like, Full Blast is kind of like the punk rock old guys, and Bomb Squad's kind of like the clean suburban Gwinnett kids who've been around a while. They throw hard. That's their thing, right? They throw hard. What's the Trainhopper vibe as the team goes?
I mean, I think we have an awesome team. A lot of the guys didn't know each other going in. On some of our meetups, it's like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm so-and-so. And that's been really neat to watch because I really tried to pull, I don't want to use the word diverse because that wasn't my specific intention, but I did try to pull, some new people, some old people, some, this side of town, that side of town. I wanted to kind of represent disc golf, plain and simple. I don't have any, obviously I was looking for people that post on social media to some extent, but that wasn't a requirement. A couple of our people don't even have some of the social platforms, but, I would say our vibe would probably represent a newer crowd of disc golf, kind of the new regime. I myself, obviously, am in the new regime. I'm 3 years into the sport. I'm a student of the sport. You probably couldn't find a tournament I haven't read the results of. If I can find it, I'm going to look through it. I looked at old names, who's played what, who built what course. Whenever I go into a new park, I'm asking, who's running things. I'm not trying to step on any toes. So while I'm a new cat, I do feel like I am kind of a student of the game and respectful of the culture. Nice.
It's a new disc golf is maybe the vibe, like the next wave, new wave.
I started right before the pandemic, but sure, I kind of represent Atlanta pandemic disc golf.
Nice. Do you think you guys have a rival in the challenge so far? We're talking about the Atlanta Team Challenge. Is there a rival between are you guys really bitter with somebody?
Full Blast talks a lot of poo.
Yeah.
So yeah. So probably Matt and Jason are my biggest rivals.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of crap. I love those guys. I play in their tournaments. I support their tournaments. They do all my shirts for me for my tournaments. So,
yeah.
But they're probably, and then obviously the end of the year, I don't know how the fates lined up, but the last match of the year will be against Bomb Squad. So obviously there will be, I guess, some implied tension there. I think everything's pretty cool at this point. And if it's not, then I'm oblivious to it, and that's probably best.
Oh, it's full hardcore, dude. We're out to get you.
That's
right. New Atlanta.
No,
yeah.
Just kidding.
What's going to be the 5-year? What's the 5-year plan for Trainhopper, and how does it change the way? Does your life have a 5-year plan that integrates with Trainhopper in a different way or something?
I would say currently my life is more on a 7-year plan.
Okay.
7 more years until I retire.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you've got a number, at least there.
Yeah, I want to be 50 years old when I retire. Or I have to be 50 years old when I retire. So a lot of things I plan kind of encompass what the next 7 years look like. I have 3 kids. Obviously I'm sitting in a dance parking lot. I spend probably 10 hours in this parking lot a week, and my wife probably spends 30. So, my older son works, so he's kind of out of the equation. We don't ever see him. He works more than I do. He's 16. But, so my 5-year plan or 7-year plan with disc golf is I know that realistically I will run the Cold Snake until I don't live in Cherokee. Even if I got out of the bigger Trainhopper Disc Golf doing more with it, I would assume I would continue to run that unless I just really burn down on disc golf, which so far is not what it looks like. So that one I would assume would be mine. I plan to run the Spring Open every year and kind of make that my big event. I am really trying to work with a large corporate sponsor to make that something special. I don't want to name names. If you've talked to me personally or know much about my other job, you probably have an idea where I might be going with that. I would love, it would be so little for them and so big for disc golf in Atlanta. So
I
that
really would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I'm really working. The Wednesday Open, honestly, it's probably one of the tournaments I'm the proudest of. When I first started, like after I ran the Cold Snake with Barry, I put out like a survey. You may or may not remember this on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember it.
And I asked a lot of opinions, and one of the overarching themes I got back from probably 10 people was, hey, we would love a tournament on Wednesday, or not Wednesday specifically, but a weekday tournament.
Just a weekday, yeah.
Yeah, and I worked for Quick Trip. That's my other job. I worked retail I've been there 21 years. The first years I worked a lot of weekends. I missed a lot of things. It made it hard, and I got that. So I have a lot of days off now. I can just take a day off. Like I'm scheduled to work tomorrow, but I'm taking the day off to run a tournament. For the people that it's a lot harder to get off. So I'm pretty proud of that. I imagine I will do 2 of those a year. That's kind of the plan. My goal with that tournament is to never repeat courses. So to give those people a Wednesday different option every time. And I had somebody at Oregon Friday when I was out flagging the OB for hole A. Was like, oh, what's this for? And I'm like, oh, a tournament this weekend. I was like, no, it's actually next Wednesday. And he's like, oh, I might could come after work. And I was like, no, it's not an after work thing. It's like a legit tournament, or at least I like to think it's a legit tournament. And I want it to feel exactly like what a Saturday tournament would feel like. So
That's awesome.
For me, I would love to become somewhat recognized. I don't need to, obviously, but if you're playing disc golf in Florida and you're wearing one of my hats and somebody goes, oh, Trainhopper Disc Golf, I love those guys. That'd feel pretty cool,
Yeah, that'd be good.
Don't need it, but so to build a brand somewhat, ultimately, because I think, as we all know, building a brand both on social media and other things helps allow for corporate sponsors. If I can go to Joe Schmo's car wash and be like, hey, I got 10,000 followers, and disc golfers drive a lot to play golf and whatever.
Yeah. And 12 people are watching it live on Frolfcenter.
Yeah. Well, I think from a leverage, I don't need it personally. Like, I'm pretty fulfilled. I have a lot to live for, a lot of happiness, but from a good for disc golf, I think a few really recognized brands. I mean, look at Foundation. What do we know about those guys other than they're getting tons of viewers? And I'll bet if they went to a corporate sponsor,
Brody Smith.
Yeah, even before.
Yeah.
Brody Smith is their corporate sponsor, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly, but I mean, I'm talking Pepsi money, Coca-Cola money.
Okay, yeah, you're talking mega lift.
We're talking about the Remax Open to 2010 Atlanta Open.
Exactly, and obviously I had Toyota. I had Atlanta Toyota. That was a pretty big deal. But like that, I want big boy Toyota. Like I want Toyota, not Atlanta Toyota. And obviously, I'm very thankful for Atlanta Toyota. It was awesome to run a cash added tournament on a weekday. But I think brand recognition and hopefully would lead more to that. And that's kind of where
I think it absolutely will.
Very cool.
So speaking of a reputation and everything, I mean, you've designed the course at Reinhardt. We touched on that. You've done some additions to Sequoia. What do you think makes a good design of a disc golf course? Well,
if you want to,
just a random course, for instance, or whatever.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you kind of the story of Reinhardt, and I can tell you, I do have a 7-year plan at Reinhardt too. So for me, I mean, my favorite courses in Atlanta, I'll tell you those are Tyus, Hobbs, and to a lesser extent, Little Mulberry. I think those will be 1, 2, 3. Probably Hobbs, Tyus, Little Mulberry. I like both of those, all the 3 of those courses, but predominantly the first 2 go in and out of the woods. I love that. And I especially love when a course goes in, out, or has more open holes and more wooded holes. I love courses that have multiple tee pads because obviously in this day and age, especially, and probably in any day and age, this is just the one I know, I throw 280 feet soaking wet. Like I practice in a lined football field and, occasionally I'll pop one into the other end zone. So for me, every now and then I don't want to play a course that's 450, and so that's big. I think versatility, it can be daunting and frustrating. Now, can that inspire somebody to get better, throw further? Sure, probably. But then there's guys like me that are 42 and not that athletic. Just probably won't ever pop them out much more than 350, maybe. I'm thinking about getting some coaching. But so that, I think, a versatility of hole design, a little bit of the left, a little bit of the right, really thinking about that, maybe throwing in a shot that nobody's ever thrown before. I like gap hits. I like woods, being Sequoia alum. I like to throw in the woods, so.
Have you ever heard of the 10% rule that John Houck came out with?
I don't believe I have.
So every 10% down the fairway you go, there should be X amount of gap in 10% wise. So like you're 200 feet down the fairway, there should be a 20-foot gap, and that's considered a fair gap or a fairway.
Yeah, I think Ryan Harris went into this on one of our episodes too, right?
Yeah, he's coming back next week. We'll go over it again, but it's just like it's something I've always considered, and like I've walked every gap at Sequoia and feel like every gap at Sequoia is fair.
For the most part, yeah. I would say.
No, for the most part, it is. I've walked every one of them, and I don't know where I'm trying to go with this.
Sequoia is a weird place to kind of like rehone disc golf and then start designing courses. You know what I mean? Like Sequoia's got some quirk to it, and I really
just want to know what's up with the elevated basket on Old 7. I'm not going to beat around the bush anymore. It absolutely drives me nuts, Mark.
People love it though, and
no, it's so bad. You're throwing right at another fairway.
Oh,
you're talking about Old 7, so 11, where it is
10 or 11, whatever it is now. It's 10.
10,
11. Whatever the short little downhill hole is.
It was in 10. Now it's an 11. Up and around forehand or turnover.
I just think the elevated basket's very gimmicky in disc golf. Just a personal opinion. I'm an angry old pro, and I think it's gimmicky.
I don't fully disagree, and that's why I don't know if you've noticed. I don't know how often you play out of Sequoia. I've actually started taking away quite a bit, so it's only out like 1 out of every 4 rotations now. At first, I was getting out there; people were enjoying it. Some people love it, hate it, but now it'll be out there for like 1 rotation, which is generally about every 3 weeks. We move the baskets.
Cool.
So like I'm only putting it out about every 3rd time because I agree it can be gimmicky, and if it's always there, I don't want it to become cliche. Like, oh, where's the big baskets?
Oh, is that course with the big basket? Yeah.
Well,
us amateurs kind of like it every now and then.
Why? Because it adds like a level of I
don't know.
Equal. It like brings the pros in the AMs the same. The AM can lay up, and the pro's gonna run at it from 4 times and take a 5.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, do you like them on the Pro Tour?
I will say
they are not that high on the Pro Tour.
Here's my issue. Here's my issue on the Pro Tour, and even in the AM Worlds last year, the 18th basket should never be elevated because you have FPO players who can't reach it. We saw the girl who won AM Worlds last year in Orlando, 18th hole. She basically had to climb up the thing to get her disc out. Somebody else recently, I can't remember who won a couple weeks ago. Somebody won and couldn't get it. At least a Fakis or somebody had something, couldn't get it out. It's like, I just don't like it on the 18th hole. I mean, do whatever you want otherwise. I prefer elevated greens to elevated baskets, but now I'm ranting and we're not talking about Trainhopper anymore.
Oh, you're fine. Take it. I've made
elevated greens over elevated baskets.
Yeah.
Hanging baskets, elevated baskets. I think it's all gimmicky. I think we should just put up a
equalizer.
I think we should just put a clown face up in front of the tee pad and tell people to throw. This
is not the 2-loop at Mosley. We're not doing that.
Okay, yeah, all right, we're done. Back to Trainhopper.
Rant.
I'll tell you a bit about how Reinhardt came to be, and I mean, a lot of talk in the community right now of who should and who shouldn't design courses, how they should be designed, what ultimately is good for disc golf, what's bad. Is more courses always good? Probably not. I get that. So for me with Reinhardt, basically I had no intention of ever building a course at Reinhardt University. So during the pandemic, my friend Jesse Williams, who is probably one of the best working disc golf people in Atlanta that nobody knows about. Shout out to Jesse.
Yeah.
If you're watching disc golf coverage, you're seeing his work. Any rate, we went up there a ton and kind of took the 8 existing baskets and made the Ryan Hard safari layout. We even put it in UDisc, played it, marked it with these little stones. It was a lot of fun shots. You know, there was literally 0 people on campus but us and the security because they were closed for the pandemic. So you could really throw any shot you want without any danger. So that I was like, oh, this is a really beautiful campus, which if you've been up there, this is a beautiful campus. And so I was like, hey, I would love to rent it, run a temporary layout here. I actually knew that they had done it in the Georgia games like 3 years prior, seen kind of some of the layout. As I said, if it's happened, I've probably read the stats from the tournament. And so I approached the school, basically like I filled out like a building rental because there was no disc golf property rental form. Got a call from the dean the following day. This is the dean of student activities of the university. He's like, hey, disc golf, we love it here at Reinhardt University. We want to be a disc golf school. This is we want to provide something for our community. We want to attract students with it. We know it's kind of the future. We're actually thinking about expanding our course to 18 holes because it was 8 baskets, 9 holes, a bunch of 150-foot par 4s. Would you be willing to come look at it? And I was like, sure. So I went up, met the dean like the following day. We talked on the phone for like 2 hours. He was super excited about disc golf. So I went up, walked the course with him. At the end of it, I looked dead in the eye and I said, what do you want to achieve with this course? And he's like, oh, we want to be a championship course. We want to host tournaments. We want to be the best collegiate. And I was like, well, you're not.
Yeah, it's not there.
Because basically he was building another 9 holes of what he already had. And I told him straight up, I was like, hey, if you're going to spend money, if you're going to do this, maybe, not this way. It's not worth your time. You're going to get the same amount of people playing. It's not going to attract anybody. It's going to stay at 2.5 in UDisc, and no kid coming for a college tour is going to remember it. So I was like, I would love to give you some ideas of what I'm thinking for this tournament. Maybe we could talk about going forward with that. So I did. I designed what I thought was a pretty sweet course. It would have been quite a bit harder than what is there now. Mm-hmm. And we went through maybe 7 revisions before we even started play testing it. We sat down with the head of facility there, like their physical plant. We sat down with their head arborist to make sure we weren't near trees they didn't want us near, make sure that the landscaping they were okay with for erosion and stuff like that. And from the beginning, I told them, hey, I am not a disc golf course designer. I play a ton of disc golf. I know a ton of disc golf. I'll help you pay for the thing, and I'll get some people up here to look at it and give you some ideas of what I'm thinking. So all that to say, we got it in the ground. I had probably 5 times I posted on the internet or tried to reach out to people to get them to come play it. I had a temporary basket that I would move hole to hole. We played it. Fortunately, not that many people came out. Just like the work days, not that many people came out. So 6 of us built a disc golf course. Is it perfect? Hell no. Do I know what most of the falls are before people have told me about them? Absolutely. Did I lose sleep the first couple of weeks wondering if the basket that's where the dean wanted it or the president of the university wanted it is in the right place? Yeah, I did. The basket 12, I think, is near a building. I was like, hey, this building's going to get hit. The president of the university, suit and tie, riding in a golf course, goes, I don't really care.
Oh.
All right, it's your building. So,
wow.
Yeah. He's like, buildings can, windows can be replaced. I was like, all right. So all that to say, does it have some problems? Yes. Is it a gorgeous course? Yes. Probably one of the 3 most beautiful courses I have ever played. And if you don't agree with that, then you're crazy because it's stinking gorgeous up there. It's quiet. It's serene. Even during class time, you won't see more than 10 students. Hole 1 and 2, you'll see a few students. And then after that, you're kind of removed from them. So, yeah, there's a couple of things. There's a couple fairways that are a little close. Luckily, it doesn't get played like an Oregon or something like that. It's pretty light. So if it got played more, we may even just have to make it a few less holes for the time being. So we were talking about 5-year plans.
Yeah.
There is some they have 750 wooded acres. So phase 2 for the disc golf course adds about 5 holes and fixes all the problems from the first part. That is not work I can do. We didn't cut down a single tree. Like I said, I paid for the majority of the course. The school bought the baskets. We did all the work ourselves on all the tee pads, all that stuff. We cleared brush, stuff like that. But we didn't cut down any trees. We didn't do any major work. Phase 2 is going to take some major work. It adds 5 what I think are really great holes. A little longer, a little better, maybe more wooded. But that's going to take professionals. So right now, if the school can get behind it, they've already know of at least one student that's committed to Reinhardt University because of the course.
Oh, okay. And that's plenty of money.
Right? Yeah. Work. So, yeah, it's got some flaws, but I knew if we could get 18 on the campus, having the ribbon cutting ceremony with the president of the university, the athletic director, all of the VPs, all the deans, they were all there. They all saw the joy for disc golf. They've seen the average play went from about 2 to 3 players a week to about maybe 100 players a week.
Wow.
Which isn't big numbers, but you go from, like I said, a par, I don't know what, 4 times 9, 30, I don't know, whatever
36.
that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was maybe 1,700 feet, par 9 or par 9 hole to something that's legitimate. Is it the best course? No. Is it a little bit forehand heavy? Yes. Is that just the way it's set up without cutting out trees? Yes, I get it. And I'll go out there with anybody and defend all the choices I made, tell you where the original holes were going to be, what we lost. So long-term, phase 2 adds these holes and fix some of the problems, and I think makes it a viable tournament course. Now, the tournament I hosted out there for the ribbon cutting was the smoothest tournament I have ever run. It felt like we didn't have a single backup, which was phenomenal because a few of the fairways are pretty close. Yes, it is a lefty course, Jordan.
Jordan's excited about that one. Yeah.
Although, I've seen people with a good turnover. Nathan Skinner can play the course really well because it's definitely within his turnover range because it's not that long, obviously. But any rate, so the tournament ran smooth. Nothing like having a full buffet for lunch at a tournament. That was pretty awesome. They have
really? Nice.
Anybody can eat in their cafeteria anytime they want. So if you go up, play around, you get hungry, you can just stop over. I think it's like $10 all you can eat with a drink. So pretty good deal. Food's really good. They're building a full Starbucks on the property, which will, just add another amenity. So, and then ultimately phase 3, if things go well, would be a fully wooded or fully constructed, professionally done course that I would love.
Championship level 18.
Yeah. This one, something, it could fit something as big. They have the room to build something like a Parker's Pasture.
750 acres is room to work.
Yeah, exactly. And it's beautiful country. So I can't speak for the university. They haven't given me their checkbook yet, even though I have. But, ultimately, I think it's good for North Georgia disc golf. If you look on UDisc, it's like the only thing up there.
Yeah.
Now
I moved away from Cherokee County 3.5 years ago, like about the time you started playing.
Yep.
And I'm a little disappointed. But I'm not out there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and with the additions of the courses over in Cartersville, I live kind of centrally located between Sequoia, Reinhardt, and the new Gatewood.
Gatewood.
If you kind of
fun.
I liked Gatewood a lot. I think it's my favorite of the 3.
Me too.
It doesn't play the hardest for me, and I don't know if I just had good days out there, or it just kind of fits what my game looks like right now. But I enjoyed it quite a bit. So
yeah, I was out for the preview with the temporary baskets. Love that course. So I'm excited that's up there. Sam did a good job.
Good, he does.
Yeah.
So someday I hope to be talked about like him.
Maybe only some of the things we say about him though, not all. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure things are said about me too. So I read all the reviews. Like you don't read everything and not know what people think of you. But again, sometimes choices have to be made, and I think overall Reinhardt is safe enough. Their people signed off on it. Everybody that came and play tested it loved it. I would have loved to have more people out for both the play testing and the work days, but I just rolled up my sleeves and made it happen. So sometimes that's how things happen. Otherwise, some things don't happen. And we can continue to debate whether or not more is always better. I do think this one's acceptable, and long term, I think it's good for the sport in North Georgia.
Well,
Hell yeah.
when you start when you start getting more in depth with the woods, I'll come out with you.
Yeah, I would love to have. I would have loved to have you on the front end too. So
yeah, I should have. I'm
welcome.
sorry.
It's okay. I was kind of expecting to get what I got. It's a kind of random project. I'm a kind of random guy. I think going forward on the next one, I would imagine if you asked Sam how many people came and walked Etowah with him, it probably wasn't very many.
I was one of them.
Yeah.
But there weren't many because it was a first time thing for Sam,
And then obviously a few more at Deerfield, a few more at Gatewood, So
Yep.
Again, my goal is not to be a designer. I love mapping. Cartography is one of my favorite things from my other hobby. I draw a lot of maps, but
Is it board game stuff? Is that your other hobby?
I do like board games a lot, but probably my other biggest hobby in life is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, there you go. You do Dungeon Master, or you just like playing?
Currently, I am playing. I've been in a game for 3 years. It actually is about to end. Our party's moving to Texas.
Oh, gotcha.
But no, I generally am the Dungeon Master, which is kind of the same thing as being a tournament director, except for I make up the rules when I run tournaments.
You can actually make the lightning go away in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, it was funny. It's something I tried to do at the very first Call Snake, and Barry looked at me. He's like, "This isn't Dungeons and Dragons. You don't just get to make the rules."
That's the scariest comment I've heard in a while.
Yeah,
nerd alert.
He is a great. I don't think he gets enough praise in Atlanta for how great a guy is. He is,
Yeah, I love me some Barry.
You do a lot of mad shit about me.
He does. He's bad, but he also said nice things. Bust his ass to serve the disc golf. Oh, look at him go. It's just because you bought a bunch of shirts from him. That's why.
Yeah. Every time. I don't want to ever be the guy that that people like. You can like me or dislike me. I don't really care. But I don't want to be the guy that people are like, "Who's this poser? Like, who's this guy?" I'm still obviously a poser. I don't get everything about the sport, but I'm saying more like, who's this guy just coming and milking the teat of Atlanta disc golf, but not doing the chores at 5 a.m. So if you don't believe my work ethic, then you're not watching, because I'm out there. And again, not to pat myself back, but that's just the way I see it. Like, I'm a hard worker. I like to get...
Well respected TD. I don't hear much shit about you, honestly.
Good.
Yeah.
So are the majority of the tournaments going to continue to be like geared towards the Atlanta thing, or are we going to try to like run a big pro tournament at some point?
I would love to run a big pro tournament. I would. And that's, I think we ultimately know what's going to drive that is going to be money.
Right.
And, like I can run a B tier probably at this point without really thinking about it. Not from a, ooh, look at me, but I can raise $750 or whatever. And
right.
That's without being the vendor. And we all know that being the vendor really helps with that.
I mean, but that's really what it takes to run a quality event, is the fundraising and the going out and talking to people. And
And I used to think that I really that was my main goal, was to get an A tier here in Atlanta or an NT or whatever, something really big. And I think I'd love to be part of that. Excuse me. This Coca-Cola 420 is really getting to me. But I don't care so much now that if I do that, I would love to be a part of that. I've been in discussion with some other local TDs about what we could do to bring something here. I would like the Spring Open to get to an A tier and really be like a big, well-paying pro level event. Regional, probably, realistically. I would love to, I don't know. As far as
they've definitely made the qualifications harder for the tournament directors now.
Have they?
I mean, as far as I know, you have to run like a 5-year consecutive B tier before you can run an A tier.
Yeah, but then it's not always that way, because I've noticed that some people still get them. So I haven't even approached that. No. I plan to apply for Atlanta to be an A tier next year, if I can get the fund, because it's a little easier for an AM event. Spring Open, maybe. Obviously, I would love that to have a different name than Spring and be the Something Open, and then it'd be kind of a no-brainer, and I could run it like an A tier and make it a C tier, for goodness sakes. As far as people getting their money and payouts.
Please do.
Like so I have no problem with that. And I'm not there are some TDs that are AM only. I like to think each of my tournaments is very geared to a specific thing. So
those are the rich TDs. Then I do want to say real quick, when you first started talking about moving these tournaments up, you did grab that Coca-Cola, and I saw you turn the label right at the camera. So I think you're doing a great job on this corporate sponsorship money thing.
I would love to get Coca-Cola. They have so much money,
I know they got all the money, and they're right here.
People act like disc golf's got a lot of money and things are coming up. It ain't nowhere. It has not arrived until you got companies like this.
Yeah.
Behind your product, right? And you've got people watching the sport that don't play the sport. That's the difference. I don't play Major League Baseball, but I watch it.
Yeah.
How many watching it right now?
How awesome. Are they going to get 13 tonight?
Yeah, we're 6-0.
Nice.
6-0 right now.
But realistically, how many people watch disc golf that don't play disc golf? There you go. So those are the two keys to the sport actually arriving. I want it to, sure.
I mean, it has grown significantly in the last 3 years that you've been in the game. I've been in the game for the last 12, and it's blown up. Like, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's like driving me away from disc golf almost, but it's blown up.
It's a fine line. And then you get guys like me that, change the whole game, and you're like,
what are they doing now?
You come in throwing clown's mouths on my favorite course that I grew up playing.
Oh,
I'm like,
stop it. You're such a vendetta, Austin. God, this guy.
What did it ever do to you?
You did nothing to me, and you took over the cold snake for Jay, and I am immensely grateful for you, and I appreciate it.
You still got the big checks. I'm happy.
I do. Never. And we raised so much money last year. That was so cool.
And that's the best part about that tournament, and I will always support it. So.
And there's definitely different thoughts on how it should go forward, but I think at the end of the day, I think the future is different than the past. But as long as we achieve the goals that it's always been set out to achieve, then we're doing the right thing.
Were you nervous the first time you said, I'm going to do a weekday tournament? Like, did you go,
well,
from the leap? Yeah.
From the reviews I got, I thought, sure, somebody will show up. Right? Well, it was pretty much, if I put it on sale, if I said, come play in the I'm going to poop on your head open, people were going to sign up for a minute there.
Yeah, yeah.
It was stupid. What I mean? That gave me a confidence that I would think, I imagine 5 years ago, if you were a TD, you're like, oh, I'm not running a weekday event. I'll have 17 people.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas I knew people would take off work because they couldn't have gotten in my last two tournaments. So I think there was a confidence there. Did I think that the third one, when the sports hadn't slowed down, but tournaments have definitely, you look around, there's some tournaments in Atlanta that aren't sold out right now. And that just wouldn't happen because they're great. There's one that's at a great course run by pretty good people that isn't sold out. And so to still be selling out a Wednesday Open, I was a little surprised. I think it took about an hour. I think a few spots took long for the AM spots.
I was really surprised that that Parker's Pasture thing was only up to like 25 people the other day. I was like, I thought that was going to sell out. B tier at Parker's. Like,
and I played one of their events in South Carolina, and last year I played 28 tournaments.
Wow.
My goal was to play as many different TDs as possible to do market research and kind of see what I thought was good, what I didn't, what I could do better, and really learn. Like I said, I'm a student. I don't want to just be out here making all this money, as Matt Hill would say.
There he is. I love that. That's a good. I love that he even did the money sign. It's so good.
Yeah. They call me Money Mark Sheldon, so
there you go.
Because I was getting the sponsors at one point, I think is why. But
Yeah.
Sure.
What's the secret? You got like a 1-sentence secret for getting sponsors?
ask.
To share. And just ask. Just be there and do it.
Yeah, and be professional about it. Tell them what they're getting. I don't know. If any TD wants to know, hit me up. I've got a whole prospectus that I give to people if they want it. Because when you get bigger companies, I started seeing this with Atlanta Toyota. If not to say that Frolfcenter Magazine isn't a big company, but
we're not.
You just sponsored my event, right? You've sponsored 3 or 4, and it's just doing it for the good of it. A, to either get in early, or B, just to be part of the Atlanta scene. You start talking about a company like Atlanta Toyota or Coca-Cola or the Q word. They need more. They need a whole write-up. They can't just give you $50. it's a bigger transaction. They need to
You
know.
got to convince 3 or 4 people up a line, basically.
Yeah, they need to know exactly what they're getting. They're going to make you fill out I-9s or W-9s or whatever it is, So on that subject, I am scared of how many tournaments there's going to be next year. Just want to put that out there.
There's a lot of people running tournaments. There's a lot of people.
It's their $10.99 from PayPal because they went over $600 next year. They're going to be like, I ain't doing it. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's that too. Oh, yeah, because it's going to be oof.
Yeah, because you could run 1 or 2 tournaments, especially smaller ones, and never have to deal with Uncle Sam.
Yep.
Now, for me, I did $65,000 in PayPal sales last year just from tournament registrations.
That's insane. Yeah, you're an entity now. You're on the radar.
I got a 1099 and I didn't do enough research and I took a pretty big hit and I lost money.
Yeah.
For example, I don't know if anybody knows this, but a sole proprietor LLC can't write off charitable giving.
Oh, so Cold Snake.
Stuck with the $5,500 that Cold Snake raised.
Did not know that.
I paid the taxes on that personally.
You don't run that through the club?
What's that?
Isn't there a Cherokee County Disc Golf Club that
we're going to do it next year? I didn't know. I assumed that I could just write it off. You know what I mean?
Right.
You would think a small business write off charity, right? You would think that, right?
It sounds like it's right on paper. Yeah.
So all that to say, I think it's a little scary to think where it might go now that $600 is the digital financial cap.
It's going to cash is what it's going to.
No, that would be scary to try to run a tournament in cash.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine going out to Redan with
Cash is
$2,000 in a briefcase. Yeah.
So.
You could easily do it at Cherokee County though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's other things. Yes. There's a 501c3. So we will rectify all of that next year.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes down. It's disc golf's going to be
not that there's that many TDs in Atlanta as it is, but
True. There's only, I don't know, 14 or 1,800 of them. Yeah. Are you ready for some fun questions? We've had you for almost an hour.
Sorry.
Are you good? You got a couple minutes still?
Oh, yeah, I'm good.
Awesome. First.
No, when they get in the car, they shut their mouths. They were forewarned.
I kind of want to drag in and see it. Anyway, who do you think your celebrity doubles partner would be? Alive or dead, your choice.
I would love to play with Val Kilmer, but he would have to be his character from Tombstone.
Oh, Doc Holliday character? That's perfect. Okay. Good one. Good.
My favorite fictional character. Either Doc Holliday or Chaucer from A Knight's Tale, which is a horrible movie, but for some reason I love the character Chaucer from A Knight's Tale.
All right.
But if it had to be a disc golfer, I'd say Kristen Tatar.
Yeah.
Highest rated FPO. Yeah.
Highest rated woman in the world today. I went down 4 points, and I'm angry about it. And that's because I ran a league. Every time I run a league, I go down in my rating. So,
what is the Waffle House order, Mark?
I get a Texas cheesesteak, double plate, scattered, smothered, double covered.
You practice that. I love that. Do you have any?
If it doesn't change, it's always the same.
Yeah.
Summer. It changes everything.
What superstitions do you have on the course or in your TD world?
Ooh, I don't really have any superstitions. I don't know.
I step on the tee pad with the right foot every time, or
no. I can't think of anything I do. I'm sure people that play with me could tell you things I do, but I can't think of anything. No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Whatever.
Okay. Fair.
Who plays Mark Sheldon in a movie?
Paul Rudd, maybe.
There we go.
You do kind of look like Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
A little bit. I can see that.
All right, we're gonna play a little game. We're gonna play a little game called Dope or Nope. You do not get to explain your answers. You can only answer dope or nope. Okay. So first thing, dope or nope, Buc-ee's.
Nope.
Dope or nope, changing the Trainhopper team name to the Hobos.
Nope.
Ah, damn it. Visors.
Nope for dudes.
Oh. Stroller carts. Guys who use baby strollers as disc golf carts.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. The weather tomorrow.
Nope.
All right, and step putting.
Dope for me.
Okay,
Dope for me.
This is the Mark Sheldon. Let me get this here. The Mark Sheldon answers right there for everybody. We're going to blackmail you for the rest of your life with those right there. There it is in perpetuity. It lives forever on the internet. So there's that. You got any questions for us?
No, I got a couple dates I want to go over.
Yeah, you want to go?
Yeah, the floor is yours, Mark. Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thank you guys so much for having me. So we talked briefly about Atlanta. I did make that a qualifier event this year. I kind of wanted it to feel more special. So there is a tournament this Saturday, June 18th, that may or may not be the last chance to qualify. I think there's about 25 spots left. That is the Disc Lula Sling into Summer event. Go ahead and follow me on Disc Golf Scene, and you can see some other events. There probably is going to be a summer event in the July range at either Sequoia or Reinhardt or both. So keep your eyes peeled on that. We're working out details. Atlanta has unofficially been announced to be at ERP this year, and that'll be a 2-day event in September. And Lucky Villain, you're going down.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. We'll talk to you. I'll see you tomorrow. So.
You will see me tomorrow, bright and early.
All right, buddy. See ya.
Lots of hydration.
Good luck tomorrow. Drink water.
Yeah. Everybody drink all the water they possibly can tomorrow because it is going to be absolutely disgusting. Once again, here's Mark's answers for anybody who wants to give him some crap. Talk mad shit, as Jason Cummins would say. There you go. Wow, that was a lot of notes. He didn't like any of those. That's fine.
Don't hate on the stroller.
No, I won't anyway.
Step putting is not dope.
Step putting is not dope. It needs to get out of there.
It needs to get the hell out of there.
Did you find my shirt? John, what are you talking about? John J. Panzer got famous on swimming in plastic, and now he's wrestling alligators and just making nonsensical stuff. I don't know what he's even talking about. This dude just got so big off this music video. Oh, man. No, Paul Bella's incorrect. Also, Jesse Williams is incorrect. I don't know. Joe Costa, Al Dente would have something to say about that. Al Dente Costa Pasta would have something to say about that. Austin, do you want to tell the folks who we have next week because it's your buddy?
Yeah, next week we've got disc golf designer extraordinaire. We're going to go over everything disc golf, disc golf course design, really, and announcing the newest project. It's going to be coming to fruition.
You got a little teasing going on there?
I don't think I've said anything yet, but yeah, we'll talk about that next week.
John J. Panzer apparently lost at doubles today. I lost my shirt at Oregon today. You shouldn't have played for all that. You shouldn't have gone into the bounty, John J. I'm telling you.
You shouldn't have taken your shirt off.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I think that's all we got to talk about. Thanks for watching the show, right?
Yeah, man. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching Frolfcenter.
Yeah, thanks. Same. That's all I got.
Shoppers, can I get a fucking oh yeah? Thank you.